I have been writing down ideas of what to say in this video for months. Last night I tried to film it one time, and after 2 hours I was like, okay, I'm talking too much. It's hard to put into words how much this means to me. Being able to say that I reached the 5th year of my YouTube channel. It's been my travel companion, my notebook of observations, my scrapbook of good times and lessons learned. By watching, you've gotten to know my family, my boyfriend, our cat. You've seen me lost and pissed off, crying, on top of the world. You've seen me as a beginner and as someone able to share their knowledge. I could talk forever and not really capture how grateful I am for this. But I am gonna try to say it somewhat succinctly now. When I first started my channel and I would do sit-down videos like this, I would have a beer, review it, then going on to talk about whatever information I was telling about in the video. This one, Country Boy Brewing, Shotgun Wedding. Well, I also had beers on hikes too sometimes. Not so much anymore, but this was from one of the first videos I ever did. It was hiking in the rain and we had this beer afterward. Just wanted to bring it full circle. A lot of the beers that I had in like my first, second, and third videos were New England beers because I was up there that summer. They don't really sell those locally. I'm also using the koozie that I found while on the AT. So many good memories I want to celebrate. To start from the beginning, I started my channel during COVID, in November, of course, but a lot of people's day-to-day lives were still really affected. Before I go on, I want to say, of course, people lost their loved ones. A lot of people had it way worse than I did. I don't want to overshadow that fact, but I was kind of in a phase of my life that was a bit rougher than usual. I lost a job that I thought would be my job for years. I thought this is the one I've been searching for. I'm not sure if I had decided yet, but I was at least in the process of deciding to give up on a career path that I had already committed 10 years and thousands of dollars to. I had saved up to be able to go on a trip to Europe, and that got cut short. But on this trip, I took a lot of really great pictures of beer with a scenic background for an Instagram account I had that was dedicated to that. And I was surprised that all these better pictures didn't mean more likes and follows. Of course, did that really matter? No, but you know, it's kind of like trying to beat your high score on a game. So I Googled how to be good at Instagram, and I spent all this time I had on my hands following what it said. I commented on people's pictures, I responded to people that commented on mine, I reposted other people's pictures of beer, and just made online friends. I connected with so many people that I never would have otherwise. Then and today, the internet seemed like a place that was all fake and over the top, but somehow I found a corner of it that was real and friendly and focused on common ground. And I was thinking, okay, where else can I go to connect with more people? And the answer was YouTube. Starting was awkward and bumpy and vulnerable, but necessary. I'm still not always good on camera, but I've improved so much, especially that first year, on screen presence and planning and editing and packaging. According to YouTube, I've posted over 700 videos. That's crazy. I don't even think I've ever had 700 thoughts in my head. Just kidding. Every video is important to me, but there are some I want to give a special acknowledgement to today. Some of my favorites are my AT documentary. I just put so much into that, thought about it so much, and it means a lot to me. My van life documentary, after I had gone on an adventure and drank a beer, a local beer, in every state in the lower 48, I made a documentary about what that experience was like, what I learned about myself, what I learned about our country. Tiny House on Wheels Hunters. It was a parody of House Hunters, the HGTV show, but about trying to find a vehicle to live in. And I also parodied commercials, and that was how I revealed what I was gonna be living in. And oh, that was just so good. I got my parents and my brother to be in that video, and I just love it. And really any series on a through hike, so Superior Hiking Trail, John Muir Trail, Appalachian Trail, and Sheltowee Trace, even though I didn't finish, and the Peace River Paddling Trail, those series I'm really proud of. All of Road Trip Brew SA was so, I was so excited about going to these places for the first time. Some are more action-packed than others, like I went skiing in Colorado. I walked up a creek that was really rocky and slippery in Arkansas. So some of them are a little more heart-pounding than like going on a walk where, you know, you're just looking at beautiful trees. But that series is just so, I don't know. I look back on it fondly. Some things I've tried that weren't the ideal outcome, but a lesson learned were, one, a video called something like, "You've heard of glamping, now get ready for glam hiking." First of all, I never wanted to be too commercial. Like every single video, there's a sponsor. I wanted to do it rarely. For that one, it was a coffee cup that weighed your beans and told you how much water to put in. I thought it was a cool idea, and I was trying to think, how could I fit that into a video? So I was like, what if we're going on a hike, but we're gonna make it really fancy and add a lot of frills to just a hiking experience? Someone very kindly, but thank goodness they said this, because I was thinking it in the back of my head, and I'm glad to have gotten this feedback. Someone was like, it's kind of just like a regular hike for some people, except with coffee in the beginning. With trying to work with brands, I really want to do right by the brand. I want to fit it into the video normally, but this execution of the video I planned just wasn't that. I didn't plan a good video. And that was good to learn from. There's a lot of my early videos that are just so awkward, it's painful to watch. When I first started filming shorts, for some reason filming vertically instead of horizontally just made me nervous, and so the short series I made on the JMT, that's a bit of a painful watch. To celebrate the end of my road trip around the lower 48, I was like, I'm gonna go live every night for a month. We're gonna all hang out together and look back on this awesome road trip. And first of all, I was living in my van, so Wi-Fi was hard to find every single day. Just having a live every single night, less and less people were interested because they could just be like, oh, I'll catch the next one. And it was an idea that didn't really work out, but at least I tried. I've always really admired the medium of podcasts. I really like storytelling. I wanted to do one that was similar to the Dirtbag Diaries or She Explores or Out There, where people come on and tell their stories. The episodes I filmed, I love so much. I love working with the people. I love their stories. I don't think people that watch my channel were really expecting that. Also, I was more focused on the audio aspect, and the visuals, people just didn't get it, I think. I wish I could keep on doing that, but at the same time, if that's not what people are interested in, maybe I'll find something else that I enjoy and most people enjoy. When I mentioned my JMT short series, I filmed a short on the JMT about what I did in the morning, and that is the most viral I've ever gone. And it was scary. I said 7 o'clock in the morning was early, and a lot of people got mad at me for that. I didn't know that the most LNT thing to do with used toothpaste was to spit it in a resealable bag and pack it out. I was taught drink some water and then disperse it, spit it out in like a spray pattern as much as you can. Someone got really mad at me for that, even though I just didn't know. I was saying it takes 2 hours for the whole process when I'm not rushing, and people heard it takes 2 hours to do the thing I was just talking about in the sentence before that, which was packing my backpack. And so they were like, how do you take 2 hours to pack a backpack? And really, I could have deleted that, but I was like, okay, rationally, more people are enjoying this than people are getting mad at me for. I didn't want to delete it. It was just it was hard to not ignore those negative comments. There's actually a psychological fact that one negative thing someone says, one insult, has the same weight in your mind as 7 compliments. So that's interesting to know. In the end, people saying negative stuff, people disagreeing with you, people taking out their frustration on you is just a part of the job. It's just not a fun one. Now here are some fun little things I did to see if anyone noticed. No one has mentioned noticing them yet, so I'm like, maybe I hid them too hard, so I just want to tell you all about them. The first and last episode of my AT series, I have the same scene of me getting ready for the day. It's the same music, it's a shot of me doing something to my hair, and then a shot of me brushing my teeth or something like that. I just wanted it to come full circle. I have 2 van tour videos. One was when I first moved in and it was like all finished with the build. I had spent a few weeks in there. One was after my road trip. I think I even filmed it after the AT, but I knew so much more about living in my van at that point. I'm wearing the same shirt in both videos. 1, because it was hot both days I filmed them, and 2, it's just a cool shirt. And I'm wearing the same sandals too, but you can't really see them. Plus, both thumbnails for those videos parallel each other. The second one, I was doing a nod to the first one. An interesting thing about YouTube is that sometimes you have a really good idea, you put a lot of work into it, you think it's gonna go great, but then when it gets posted, it's in the algorithm's hands and it doesn't really get in front of the people that would really like it. It kind of just doesn't get seen a lot. Some of those that I think are kind of hidden gems that I really like, but I don't think a lot of people have seen. One of them is called The Ever-Changing Greens of the AT. A very reflective, artistic piece. It's about seasons changing and just about nature. Not really the social aspects, not really the physical aspects, just nature. There was also a video called The Year with a Home, and it was about 2024 being the first year that I lived in an apartment. Before that, I had been pretty nomadic, and just that change in my life, I thought it was really cool to reflect on those. I started filming it the year before New Year's, when the year 2024 was starting, posted it on New Year's 2025. I don't think I said clearly enough that I am filming this way in the past. It is a lot of talking, to be fair, so maybe it's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. On that same topic, I made a video about how I avoided paying rent till I was 31. When I was on the AT, a lot of people seemed to think the AT was the only way you could escape being chained to a job and living in one place and, you know, only having fun on the weekends instead of really living life to the fullest. And there's other things to do, like the PCT. I'm just kidding. How I avoided the matrix for so long was working seasonal jobs, budget traveling internationally for as long as possible, working jobs while I was traveling. It has information I think would help people, but you know, I made a video about how my budget for the AT went. I go through exactly what I spent money on, and I think that'd be really helpful to potential hikers, because you could either be like, oh, you hitchhiked here? I think I'm gonna take shuttle, so I should budget more. Oh, you stayed at a hostel? I plan to just camp every single night, so I know to budget less. I even, at the end, go through like rules of thumb people have about budgeting, like the South is gonna be way less expensive than the North, but I didn't actually find that to be true. I thought that was a helpful video that people were really gonna watch, and maybe it just didn't find its way into the right people. Between my road trip across the country and the AT, I went to Alaska and Canada, and that trip has glaciers and outdoor ice skating and an ice cave. I think because they were so excited about the AT, not a lot of people saw that. And you might not know this about me, but I actually hiked the Appalachian Trail. A little known fact about me, I'm over 2,000 miles in 2023. I'm just kidding again. But it was surprising how my finishing the 100-mile wilderness video got a lot more, like significantly more people to watch it than my summiting Katahdin video, which I thought was very reflective and emotional. That was kind of strange how that worked out. And also recently I made a video where I interviewed hikers that were hiking this year, and I thought that would be like almost another documentary for me. It was definitely a documentary style video, but it didn't capture people's attention in the way that I thought it would. And I'm saying these just in case it's of interest to anyone, if there are any hidden gems y'all might have missed. My least favorite parts about making videos in general are having very dramatic titles and thumbnails. Sometimes you gotta really find the most intriguing part of it in order to get people to watch. I am not a fan of doing that, but it's sometimes what you gotta do. And I kind of mentioned before, working with brands can be tricky because my priority is the viewer, but when I commit to some people sending me their product and I'm gonna put it in a video, sometimes I have an idea that I start with and it doesn't really go how I planned. There's also some times where I'm not fully satisfied with a video, but Wednesday at 8 p.m. is coming up and I gotta just press post, even if it's not exactly how I would like it. This last video I posted last week, my presentation of it wasn't very exciting and I wish I changed the wording of things sometime, but I didn't have time to refilm a whole other video. Kind of just made it as exciting as I could. And now my favorite parts of YouTube include reveals. Anytime I'm announcing something, it's just so much fun. There's so many ways to be creative and change things up. Especially on my AT series, I could have been like, here we are eating ice cream, it's a half-gallon challenge. But instead I made it this whole thing about, oh, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Oh, we heard you wouldn't. Yeah, I bet you won't. Oh man, I guess I'm gonna do it now. And then some very intense competitive music. I put my friends' times on the screen. It was just a fun way to change things up. Halloween and Christmas specials are fun. There are videos where I'm just being silly and weird. Like when I got done with my road trip, I said I was gonna live in a forklift next. Also, when I announced that I was gonna do the AT, you know how you get a message in a bottle, like in the ocean? Well, I lived in Kentucky at the time, so a message in a bottle was in a creek. And I just think that was just silly and weird, you know, doing fun stuff like that. I really like when I get a good idea. That's just so exciting. I like explaining things in a really organized and detailed way. I'm proud of myself because a lot of videos I've done, I look bad in them. I look not very smart. Like getting stuck in the desert and forgetting my second water bottle in the car while I walk an unknown distance to go get help. Crossing that river I shouldn't have on the AT. It's not my brightest moment, but I'm so glad I can be like, hey, here's the reality of taking trips in a van or hiking a long trail, is that sometimes you mess up, and I'm glad I could be real about that rather than, you know, looking cool. And now I have something very special for you, an artifact from when I first started out. I don't really remember where I was, but apparently I wasn't anywhere with paper because I wrote this timeline of what I wanted to accomplish on a napkin. It says, timeline, finish camp job, that was where I currently was. Start YouTube channel, find work online and save every penny. That way I could live in a van. I actually ended up doing like Instacart and DoorDash instead of working online. Start monetizing Instagram. Never got monetized. Hella research. Buy a van. I did do a lot of research and I did buy a van. Build van. Hit the road. Podcast. In parentheses, beer and adventure with friends. I did have a podcast. It wasn't exactly that. And then start subscription service was my ultimate goal. I don't know if you remember, but in 2020, it was really popular to do like a monthly box of something. Like I remember there was Loot Crate and a subscription service where you got different snacks from other countries every month. I don't feel like that's as popular anymore, and I think it's because a lot of them were like a good idea in the beginning, but then the stuff you got kept getting less and less in value, and everyone was just like, oh, never mind. My vision was that I could have like a beer of the month club, and I could be like, okay, I'm going to Colorado this month. Here I am making a bunch of videos about Colorado, and also the people that want to can order this box of Colorado beers that I will also be drinking in my videos, and they can, like, you know, taste along with me. In the beginning, I was really too small to reach out to anyone. Before the AT, I was like, what if I can just sell an AT box of beers from breweries that are along the trail? I got a company to actually respond to me about that, but then it didn't work out. They were busy with something else. The reason I couldn't just do it myself is that you have to have a license or something to be able to send beer to each individual state. So obviously I don't want to do the legwork 50 times. It also costs to get that license or whatever it is. That didn't work out, but it is interesting to look back now. It wasn't on the napkin, but I also remember I was hoping to meet some friends while doing van life that were also into videos and outdoor adventures, and just like go around, go to epic places, hang out with my friends, make some videos. I didn't meet a lot of people living in my van because I was really worried about safety all the time, so I never struck up a conversation with anyone, even if they were camping kind of in the same place. I've said this quote in a recent video, but again, I want to say, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among stars. And that's what I did. I'm really proud of the way things turn out. If you remember when I went paddleboarding for my birthday a few months ago, I was talking about how I'm really hoping to get a full-time job, have a bit more stable of an income, a steady lifestyle, and just have YouTube as a hobby, a fun hobby, instead of really being like, man, I really need these videos to be seen by a lot of people because I get paid per view. And the good news is, if you saw 2 weeks ago, I posted, hey, my video is going to be delayed a little bit. I'm actually starting 2 jobs. One job is a full-time job, yay! The other job, I was just applying to anything at that point. It had been months of job searching. That was a part-time job. The good news is, though, that you kind of schedule yourself from what's available, and then they give you shifts. So I'll just know to schedule myself on the weekends and then have my full-time job during the week. Just having that pressure off me is great. But that does change things a little bit. With getting to enjoy YouTube as a hobby, I think it'll be really fun to not work in a time crunch. The downside, though, is that I won't be able to post every week anymore. I'm thinking I might post once a month or once every 2 months, depending on how busy I am with everything else, what adventures I'm on, what ideas I have. Now, I think for most people that won't make a huge difference, but I do want to acknowledge that there are some people that watch every video every week. And to you all, I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world. And I'm sorry that this is the way it's got to be, but I think I will make better videos because of it. My main concern with this is losing contact with you all, and even the people that don't comment, they just watch a lot. I always think about maybe there are people out there that aren't necessarily commenting, but still watching and following along and wishing me well. But to not lose these connections that we've built, maybe I can go live more. My boyfriend has suggested doing beer reviews on live. So what would you all like? Just a conversation chit chat, or would you like conversation chit chat plus a beer review? Ooh. And like I mentioned earlier, there are videos that I made that I think some people kind of missed, or maybe like my early days people haven't seen. What if on a text post I was like, hope everyone's having a great winter. If you're looking for some winter vibes, check out this video of me ice skating in, I almost said Alaska, but it was Canada. And even though I'll be posting less often, I still have ideas of what to post. Quitting the Sheltowee Trace was a really big decision, and I want to make a video talking to other hikers about how to make that decision, maybe just some food for thought. I want to make a video breaking down the typical packing list for backpacking and take every piece of gear, like backpacks, for example. This is a roll top pack. This is a backpack with a brain. I don't know what the technical word for it is, but just these are the two types of backpack. People like this one for this reason, people like this one for this reason. There are tons and tons of videos about gear out there, but a lot of them, and I've made these myself, are saying this is what I have, and maybe they'll mention why. But if someone was completely starting backpacking from scratch, just walking them through how to choose their gear. And obviously I'm gonna go paddleboarding again next summer. I wanna go on another trip in my van. I want to do some more backpacking. I'm especially thinking about the Colorado Trail these days. That sounds really cool. And maybe with being able to save money more, I can afford to go on some international trips. Maybe I can afford better camera gear. And so you all, cheers. Cheers to the future. And cheers for the past. I'm Maddie, this is Tucker Brooktown Forest, and we're gonna drink some beer by a waterfall today. Woo! This is Lake Winnipesaukee, and we're gonna drink beer on a kayak today. We're outside Louisville, Kentucky, and we're gonna drink beer in the rain today. I bought the 2011 Sienna. Am I nervous? A little bit, yeah. So when we come in a little further, I wanted to show y'all this thing. I did it! I made it! Yes, New Hampshire on the can, so you know it's real.
A lot of people in a situation would be like, yeah, let's go, this is so exciting. But I'm like, what am I getting myself into?
Happy birthday to you!
The USB plug, yes! Look at those lights. They're on. Once in a lifetime stuff out here. 48th state! We did it! I am really liking this new pack so far. Well, here we are. In this wonderful book passed down by my family for generations. I discovered the American Discovery Trail. Let me show you what I did. That time on that trip where we connect through lessons learned in the great outdoors. We're going to be through hiking the Sheltowee Trace.